Payne with Simply Living Realty Group. Today, I'm with Jason from Just The Dipz, and I am in the Thunderdome of where all the magic happens. So tell me, how did this come to be, and how long have you been in business?
So Plasti Dip was actually invented in 1972 by a guy up in Minneapolis. You dip your tool handle in, and you pull it out and you got new tool handles.
Yeah,
kind of
reminds me of like nail polish.
Yeah. So that's where the dip part comes from.
Yeah.
Fast forward quite a few years, they developed it to be different formula to be sprayed on a car, kind of like paint, but there's no adhesive involved. So it just sprays on, it bonds, and then you can peel it off clean.
Yeah.
It started becoming popular for cars in about 2011. They started doing aerosol cans with wheels and badges and whatnot. People just black things out.
Yeah.
And then you could do full cars. They started developing it to do full cars. So I started in 2012 just kind of doing my own cars like once a year just for fun.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of being able to do that on my kind of a budget, which is nothing.
Yeah.
So it's relatively inexpensive to do for yourself.
Well, and you're getting a new car without
like
spending the money for a new car.
Changing the color of your car, and it's cheaper than buying a whole new car.
Yeah.
So
especially nowadays.
And so I sold cars for about 5 years, and my wife just said, "Hey, you need to be doing this full time. You're pretty good at this." So almost 4 years ago now, I quit my day job and I started Just The Dipz. Doing it full time in Nebraska. I was there for a couple years doing it there, grew it there, but it's the Midwest, it's terrible climate.
Yes.
Most of the time, half the year you can't do anything. Nobody wants to bring their cars out. So we decided to relocate down to Central Texas because I can
pull
state
from there is.
Dallas, I can pull from Houston, I got San Antonio, I've got this huge demographic of car culture people.
Yep.
And it's grown pretty significantly.
And you're close to the raceway too.
Yeah, it's grown pretty significantly just in the almost 2 years we've been down here already. So.
Yeah, that's exciting. And when I came in here, I'm like, this is something I'm going to date myself, but it kind of reminds me like Pit My Ride. Remember that on MTV?
Oh yeah.
And after scrolling your Instagram, you've got like a whole portfolio all over the place.
I've been doing it a long time, and I'm known within the industry as being one of the guys that kind of pushes the limits of what you can actually do with this stuff.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of people do this. It's like everything on this car is sprayed. So, the car is sprayed blue, and then I make a stencil, and then I stencil the little blue outline, and then I stencil the white, and then I stencil the one.
Yeah.
So it's all seamless, it's all one piece, it all looks good, it's smooth when you go touch it.
Yeah.
Nobody has the patience for that.
No.
As a DIY person. DIY people, it's an awesome product because for, minimal effort, minimal money, it's super user-friendly. You can spray and change the color of your car.
Yeah.
But it takes patience to do this.
Yes.
It's like basically I'm an old school guy doing like old school layering paint techniques with new school products.
Now, do you do it all on your own? Do you have any?
I do it all by myself. My wife does come help me mask occasionally.
Oh, see, that's not fun. I wouldn't want that job.
She's really good with like windows and headlights and taillights and everything. Leaves the hard stuff for me.
Yeah.
But
kudos to her, because I would be like, you're on your own, bud.
But right now, you have to have a lot to it. So
Now I see pink on the gram. What vehicle ended up this gorgeous Barbie pink?
Actually, Barbie Bmw on Instagram. Yes. My friend Stacy, she has a Bmw i8, which is their hybrid car.
Yes.
It looks super futuristic. The doors open, like wings and everything. And she wanted it as bright pink as I could get it. So
yes.
She has a bright pink BMW.
I love it. I joked when I was little I wanted a pink car with the A on the side instead of a B for Barbie. Had to have an A. So you might make my dreams become a reality.
All right. We can pink your ride.
There you go. Now, what other fun things have you done? I saw on there you did something with a truck where it looked old, but it wasn't.
So I had a friend of mine up in Georgetown area. Matt Meredith has a pretty good YouTube following. He builds trucks, does a lot of like headlight conversions and stuff like that. And he got an opportunity to put his truck in a SEMA booth. Ooh. And he had a specific look in mind. And I have done this weathered, dirty, raced, barn find, rusty look quite a few times before on other vehicles, and he said that I was the perfect fit for that. So we kind of came up with a plan. We did an old Ford Motorcraft theme. Like they used to put that on like some of the old Trans Am Mustangs back in the 80s and 90s. So we wanted to kind of do that, and then tweak it to fit for Black Armor Bed Mats was the main sponsor for the booth that it was in at SEMA. So we just did this crazy dirty, rubbed, raced, barn fine, rusty.
It is so cool.
You go walk through SEMA and you got all these lifted, shiny trucks and all this stuff, and then you stop and there's this just dirty, grungy. It feels like it looks because I actually use real iron powder to create the effect. So on the real rusty areas, it's got a little bit of
It's
rust.
got that grit to it.
And then you go down the door where there's no rust and it's perfectly smooth. So it's kind of a neat. You can get a printed wrap like that, but it lacks the depth.
For sure.
In an area like that where it is more textured, it's going to be more of like matted out, basically, and then it'll have a little sheen on the smooth part. So it's like a whole nother dimension to the look, which adds, I think, a lot to like the realisticness of the design.
Well, and it's so cool because if they get tired of the look, they just peel it off and come back to you for a whole nother look. So like that is just the coolest thing ever.
Most vehicles, I mean, if I've done them, I can peel a vehicle clean in about 2 hours.
Dang.
Yeah.
Now for safety reasons, are you the only one that knows how to peel that? Like, or someone else can come up and
anybody
peel
can
it?
peel it.
Okay.
I've put videos up of when my youngest was like 6.
Okay.
And I started it in the door for him.
Yeah.
He started to peel it, and then he like looked back at me like, are you sure I can do this? I'm like, yeah, come on, buddy, keep it going. So
it's the only time your kid's allowed to peel the paint off your car.
Exactly.
So now, do you do like motorcycles, quads? What do you do too?
Anything. Pretty much anything, but other than boats. I haven't really had anybody ask me about a boat yet, and I don't know how that would work,
deal with in the water.
Being submerged. Yeah. But, I mean, you can get them wet. You can run them through car washes. I mean, it's just think of it like a regular car.
I think it'd be kind of cool for a boat because it'd probably protect the boat even more.
Yeah. I mean, maybe from the bumper up. Like you want to do something wild on the top part. But motorcycles, Can-Ams are really popular. Can-Am Riker. It's a little 3-wheel.
Yes.
Not the slingshots like the car version.
Yeah.
This is like the snowmobile on wheels.
Well, and I saw one on your Instagram, and it's almost like this pearlescent.
Yep, it's called a Hypershift.
Yeah.
So it's a color shift that shifts from like green to blue to purple.
Okay.
And I can do a high gloss finish on it. So I mean, it literally looks and feels just like paint.
Okay.
And I had done another one for a guy up in Georgetown. Who wanted to do Mario Kart theme.
That is cool.
And
my kids would be obsessed with that.
I'm big about like themed cars.
Yes.
Obviously, I like themes. I like to do replicas. I like to do single colors are great, but it's always more fun when I get to kind of get this working and put something together.
Yeah.
When he said Mario Kart, I knew exactly because I'd done a few of them already. I know how they come apart, so I knew what colors I was going to make what pieces to kind of replicate so it looked like a go-kart.
Yeah.
And Craig is an awesome customer. He got jean bib overalls. He goes to like charity shows dressed as Mario.
That
with the red
is
shirt.
so cool.
He's got the hat. He's got a little mustache that he puts on and everything. And I mean, he just keeps tweaking the bike. He's got the shifter is a banana peel now.
That is hilarious.
The latest thing I just saw, he's got this little digital screen, like a pixelated screen.
Yeah.
If you ever played Mario Kart, you go through the little question mark boxes and it flashes all the different. The screen actually flashes all of the different.
That is so fun.
The shells and the banana peels, and I'm like, and it's on the back of the seat. I'm like, oh my! And he'll actually ride into shows with 3 helium balloons on the back because they had a battle mode where he had the 3 balloons. Yeah, he is all about it. He puts a speaker on his bike where he hits a button on his phone and it's Mario going woohoo! Oh yeah, it's great. He actually got to do a Comic-Con event with that. We were at a car show this summer and somebody said, "Hey, Comic-Con's next weekend. Would you be interested in showing your bike?" So I mean, he gets to do cool stuff, and it's fun because I had a part in it.
Yeah, that's really cool, and just to follow his story too along with yours.
Yep.
So now, if you can pick the top 5 favorite vehicles you've done, which would they be?
Oh, gosh. That's a hard one because it's like every time I ever did something to my own car, it was always my favorite.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, there's no way I'm going to top that.
Yeah.
And then I end up figuring out a way to top it on
like
something.
from the replica from Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, exactly. Now that one, it's a favorite, but I'm not going to put it in top 5 because it's an Eclipse. I mean,
yeah. I remember that was a cool car in high school. I'm like, why?
It was fun driving it though, because even though it was like the least favorite hero car of the entire franchise,
yes,
when I drive it with the top down, you could hear people, oh my God, that looks like the car from Fast. Everybody knows the car, which is the cool part.
Yeah.
So probably one of my first favorites is going to be this car. I had done a Gulf livery, which is about the same color, blue, orange front end. Replica kind of the number 6 car from, I want to say it was 68 Le Mans.
Okay.
I can't remember exact 68 or 69. I can't remember what year, but that was a rusty barn find. That was kind of what started the whole rust thing for me.
Yeah.
So that's probably my first favorite. I did a little mini truck that was like a Ken Block Kuna truck replica on this little
and it had the monster theme, right?
Yeah, little mini Honda N600 with a motorcycle engine in the back it's way faster than my car. So so that I mean, it's already a cool car. That's where I find myself kind of lucky. It's like people don't bring me, Grand Ams and Cobalts. I get to actually start with unique vehicles. The FJ Cruiser is not just a Toyota pickup truck. It's kind of a cool retro looking truck to begin with. So I get to take these already cool vehicles and just put my own spin on them. So,
jazz it up.
Next one would probably be my SEMA car. I had 2 SEMA cars. I'm gonna put those together. The truck that we had talked about earlier with the motorcraft theme, and then I had done a wide body Shelby for 2018 in SEMA, which was full like classic Shelby look, rust, the whole thing. So
that's cool.
Another one, I could probably give you like 15.
Well, then just keep going.
So I had done.
There was a very patriotic one I saw on your feed.
Which one was patriotic? I do a lot of patriotic.
It had like the flag with the stripes of different colors.
Oh yeah. That was one I had done for the owner of Plasti Dip. It was a 2-sided. He's big with the charities up in Minneapolis. One was Operation 23-0.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Invisible Wounds Project.
Yes.
So they have flags, and he wanted me to incorporate their flag logos into each side of the car with like a common theme around the back end. So I had ended up doing that one. That was another favorite of mine too. I got a guy locally here, a friend of mine, Jason. He's got a first gen Viper that he wanted to do this very specific Martini racing livery on. So it's black and white and red. I mean, it's got all these beautiful colors on it. And then I ended up actually doing a little Formula V race car for him in the same theme that he races out at COTA, which is also pretty
That's
neat.
Crazy.
And from doing that job, I actually got to meet Ken Adams, who's now friend. It's kind of crazy. I actually end up becoming friends with most of my customers because we're all car people and we all just get along. So Jason had told him about me, and he's got a brand new C8 Corvette, and he's got a nonprofit charity called Your Ride Is Here, and they give free rides to treatment for cancer patients.
Oh, that is so
At
cool.
the end of their treatment, they pick them up in a supercar and take them for a ride.
That's
a supercar of their choice if they want some kind of wild BMW or Porsche or Ferrari or whatever. So he wanted to have like a flagship car for Your Ride Is Here. So he brings the C8 to me, and he's like, I want it to look like a fighter jet. So we kind of sit down with a little spitball session and come up with some ideas for how we want to make the canopy look and how we want to do the body. And I couldn't render it for him. Everything is usually up here. And he got to hang out the whole time I was here, and he's just watching me airbrush all these graphics on. He's like, you are 100% nailing this look for me. So I was super excited. He was like my best cheerleader for the whole thing. And he goes to car shows all the time, but now I've got like a really nice car out there that he takes to car shows to spread awareness about his organization, and then it also helps me. So.
No, for sure. I mean, when you see one of these vehicles, cruising down the road or at a car show or at a racetrack or whatnot, it's a great advertisement because people are going to be like, oh my gosh, who did your car? And so they're like, oh, just the Dipz,
Well, a lot of people I hear it all the time, that's a nice wrap. Or, who did your vinyl
Don't
wrap?
insult me.
And I mean, and nothing against vinyl wrap. I use vinyl. I use vinyl for the logos on his truck. I use vinyl, but This is, I mean, to me, this has got a little bit more character than a vinyl wrap because it's all done with artwork.
Yeah.
And it's all seamless. So all of my rub marks and everything are specifically where I want.
And I don't think you would get the character that you would get with vinyl.
No, and the artwork lines up.
Right.
I mean, it can be done with vinyl, and I know, but like the little details, like if you look at my little Ford badge on the side, do you see how it's clean behind it? So it looks like all of that dirt that was hitting, that's all done on purpose to give it more of that real look. Yeah. And that's what I like about these thieves. But it's not that I don't have anything against vinyl, but
it's not your forte.
I didn't just print this and stick it on a car. I actually did this with art. It's basically a peelable paint job. Yeah. So I do have to educate people a lot and say, it's not a traditional vinyl wrap. This is actually Plasti Dip, and it's crazy. I've been working with this stuff for 10 years, and there's still so many people out there who do not know what Plasti Dip is.
I had no idea about it until James told me about it. I'm like, and I physically thought you were dipping the vehicle into something.
So how do you turn the car upside down?
How is this going to be? Is the inside going to be fine? Like, I have so many questions. So you definitely educated me on that. So now, what do you see for your future in Just The Dipz? Like expanding?
Hopefully. Yeah. I'd like to get to that point where, it's just me right now. Yeah. Because I do a lot of custom stuff. Yeah. And,
it's hard to let go of that too.
It is. When you've got this way of doing things, because I had to find this way on my own. Yeah. There's no training for this really out there. Yeah. I figured out how to do this with this product on my own. Now I can train somebody, I can teach somebody to do it, but it's finding somebody who wants to, that can slow down and be patient enough to work with the product.
Yeah, and has the same quality control that you do, Oh yeah, because that is your name out there.
I'm big on that. Yeah. When it comes to like all of my customers' vehicles, like I said, we end up being friends most of the time. So if anybody ever has any issues, I'm like, just call me and let me know so that I can either fix it, respray the panel, do whatever needs done to make sure it's right and make sure it's good.
Now, these customers that have been customers, how often do they come back to say, hey, I want you to do something else?
Well, down here, I haven't had any repeats yet because I do put a lot of love into these designs. And
they don't want to change it.
It's not something that's, it's only going to last a year.
Right.
This stuff, a lot of the cars that I do are cars that get driven for pleasure on weekends in their garage. This stuff's going to last until they get bored of it and want to change it. Yeah. Even on my car, this is almost 2 years old. It's daily driven. It's probably got 40,000 miles on it, and it still looks great. Yeah, it does. I'm going to be changing it after the first of the year just because I can. Yeah. I'm ready to change it to something different. I love this car. I love the way it looks like this, but everybody's already seen it. I'm ready to have something new and bright and fresh that people can look at and go, hopefully, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So. I did see, my kids are very into like Marvel and superheroes. I saw you did a Transformer, like Bumblebee.
I did. That was my wife's Camaro.
That is so cool.
Which is super funny story because she just despised yellow.
Serious?
And was like, I don't want a yellow car because her car's black originally. And I think the first time I did it, I had done a two-face, like a gray and white with like a pink stripe up the middle, which suited her great. And then we peeled that off and changed it to, I did like a really nice like teal, like intense teal green on it, which was great. And I said, babe, you gotta let me do a Bumblebee on this just once. Just for a little bit. Just so I can say I did one. We've got the Camaro, let's do it. So I finally talked her into it, and I did the whole thing. Rubbed, erased, battle worn, bullet holes.
That is so
rusty.
Cool.
I wanted it to look like it just sat in a field for, Bumblebee saved the world. Yeah. Sat in a field and rusted and then came back. Yeah. And we ended up having that on the car for over 2 years because she actually grew to love it.
Yeah. So, she probably liked all the looks she got.
Yeah. I actually, when I peeled it, I did a video for it. And I actually still have the entire peeled hood in my garage.
That's crazy.
So it's just a big sheet, looks like a cape.
Yeah.
It's like a little yellow Bumblebee cape.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. Now, when someone wants to schedule something with you, how far out is your time frame? Because I'm sure, like you said, these take about a week to do.
Roughly. If we're doing full themes, I like to give myself a week for, just to have the time to do it, because sometimes they take different stages. It's not that I couldn't fit it all into one day. It's just when I'm doing rust, I've got to I've got to wait for the activator to dry overnight before I can come in and do the next stage.
Yeah.
So same with graphics. I got to put a base down, let that cure overnight so that I can come in and I can tape on it and do graphics. But like a single color car, I can knock out in 2 days.
That's crazy.
You know, start to finish.
Yeah. And what's great about it is there's no prep in it. And also it helps hide any imperfections of vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, typically Plasti Dip is matte finish.
Yeah.
It's the least expensive product that I spray as far as me doing it and everything. So it's the matte finishes. If you have a less than perfect car, if you got a little door dings or something like that. I mean, I am partnered with a body shop. So I do have a guy
that's nice.
Hey, if you want to get body work done on your car, I've done a couple classic Corvettes where I've had my partner here do body work on them, and then I go and do the final on it. But yeah, the matte finish kind of just helps straighten out just about any car. I have a buddy in Vegas. He used to live in Nebraska. He's got a 63 Coupe de Ville Cadillac, and it was gloss black. And it was super clean, but with that gloss, you could kind of see just a bit flat black, straight.
Yeah.
And it looks phenomenal. So.
Yeah. So how long do they have to wait to schedule something with you?
Yeah, sorry. Off track here.
Circle back.
Circle back around. Just keep me in line here. Typically,
I just want to get you booked. That's all.
Yeah, there we go. Typically, I'm about a month out at any given time.
Okay.
I was about 2 months out for a little bit, but we're kind of getting into the slow time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I'm full till the end of the year.
Nice.
So I'd start booking in January if somebody called and wanted to schedule something.
Yeah. Now, how do they do that? Is that through like your Facebook, Instagram?
Any way you can reach out. I've got my phone number on the site. I've got a website. I've got an Instagram. I've got Facebook. Any way you can message me on there. You can text me. You can call me. I mean, any way you want to. And then we figure out what's your vision for your car is usually what I ask.
Now, you draw it all out? Like you render and everything of it?
Not really.
Oh. He's like, I just have it come out here and just go.
I mean, with a single color, you don't really have to go with a rendering or anything like that. I mean, when you go with a theme, like even with the Fighter Vet, he's like, well, I kind of have an idea where I want to put stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so it's up here. You're just
like a giant think tank up there.
Yeah. I don't have the software to render and all that stuff, unfortunately. But I've got a pretty good track record of being able to. I'm good at listening to people and listening to what they want.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at putting that into motion on their car.
Yeah. Now, okay, last question. Out of all of the vehicles you've done, what is probably like the funnest one you've done? Like whether it be recreating a vehicle or a theme, which one? You got to pick one.
I might have to get my phone out and start looking at pictures because I've also found as I get older, my memory is not so good. So
now you mentioned something about Bigfoot. What was about Bigfoot?
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. So the February of 2020, right when the pandemic started.
When the world shut down.
Yeah. So I was trying to generate a little bit of business and I wanted to do something fun and cool.
Yeah.
So I put a post out on my Facebook and I said, hey, is there anybody out there that's got like a mid-70s single cab Ford or Chevy pickup truck that's lifted, has some bigger tires? I have an idea. So within 5 minutes, somebody that a mutual friend of, actually my SEMA car for 2018 is owned by Jonathan Nairn. He's a pro Formula Drift driver out in Concord, North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
He's friends with David Leffel, who is also he drifts and he builds drift cars and he goes to a lot of events and does demos.
Yeah.
So David messages me in like 5 minutes. He's like,
what are you thinking?
I've got a 76 Ford F-250, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how would you feel about doing like a barn find Bigfoot? He's like, I'm in. How much? Quoted him a price. Done. I'm like, should have gone higher. So he has a great facility, a big garage, and we worked out a deal where I actually ordered all the products, shipped it to him in Tennessee, and I shipped everything to him, and then I jumped in my car and I drove over, spent the week there, prepped the area, and just did this whole barn find Bigfoot.
So did it have Bigfoot actually on it?
It actually did. I actually made to do the Bigfoot logo to where it looks like it was like chrome and 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
I had to make 6 separate stencils to do that. So I laid one stencil down for the black, and then another stencil, and another stencil. Did the blue shading, did the brown shading, but ended up making I thought it was a pretty good Bigfoot. Everybody thinks it's a sticker. Yeah. But it's completely sprayed on there. And, instead of the original Bigfoot driver, it's got David's name on the door. Yeah. Did rust and dripping and everything. But everything on his is stenciled. He actually had a guy come out and do like a little 9-minute documentary video on the truck. In the video, David had different wheels and tires on it. Well, after I left and had the truck done, he bought bigger wheels and tires. My vision was to have basically where somebody found, because the original Bigfoot wasn't what it is now. I mean, all the monster trucks now are just these massive tube frame, plastic bodies, giant tires. Well, back in the 70s when they did Bigfoot, it was a real truck that the guy drove, and another one. Right there. Watch for the other blooper. So
he's saving me from all the little vampire
I'm attracting
suckers.
Them for you. Yeah, that's great.
There's still one over here too.
Is there? Yeah, you're gonna. This is right from the camera. So, anyways, Bigfoot. I'm like completely lost.
I got you.
So I had this idea that I wanted to basically, like somebody found an original Bigfoot body in a barn, rusting from the top down. Brought it out, put a motor in it, put some wheels and tires, suspension, and just kind of revitalized it, but kept it old and dirty looking. And that's what we ended up with.
Yeah. So is the Bigfoot your favorite vehicle you've ever done? Now that you've thought about it,
it's up there.
Yeah.
I think my favorite's got to be my Golf on my car. Yeah. It's the one that kind of kick-started the whole rusty barn find look to begin with. Yeah. I mean, it's a super small niche. I mean, some people don't get it. Yeah. I don't like, why would you want a rusty car?
It's so funny, too, because as a former photographer, you were always looking for, like, that rusty truck to take a picture
and that's where the idea came from, because you see all these, like, cool old cars that have this real, natural, this is how they weather. This is their patina. This is what they look like. I think it's a cool look. Yeah. So. And
the concept of it is really cool because you create the look, but then it holds the integrity of the vehicle. Like naturally when rust happens, it just keeps rusting. Exactly. Yeah. Where yours, you create the look.
It look old. Yes. I had done a 59 Ford F100 out in Charlotte area. It was actually Jonathan Aaron's father-in-law. And we did that. We did a 2-tone, like mint and white, made it look like an old rusty shop truck. And what was cool about it, it's a 59 Ford truck. Nobody knows that it's plasti dip. Yeah. Everybody thinks that it actually just weathered like that. Yeah. We had him, I actually put Fitzgerald Construction, because it's the last team's construction company. Yeah. And I actually made it look like an old painted on. Yeah. Like I actually sprayed it with my airbrush and then took a paintbrush and put brush strokes in it so it looked like an old painted on logo on the door.
That's cool.
And that's another thing I've been kind of dabbling in, is just because you don't think of that when you think of plasti dip. That's something that some older guy who's got a lot of experience, who knows how to hand paint stuff does, not me. So.
Yeah, no, and it's really cool how you bring some of the older cars back to life. Like one of my favorite vehicles that's considered a classic car is the Bronco, and so I saw that you did one of those. That's really cool.
I've done a lot of Broncos. Yeah. So, and a lot of retro style themes on the Broncos. Yeah. Different colorways just to kind of make them stand out from the rest of the old Broncos.
Yes, yeah. They're definitely a sturdy vehicle. It's like when you're driving one, it's like, move, get out of my way. I am so thankful you educated me on this whole process, and now I don't have to think that the vehicle actually gets dipped, that, there's a step process. And I'm excited for what's in store for you and for your business to just take off even more than it already has. It's pretty exciting.
It's very exciting.
How busy you have and the clientele you've had.
And just a short amount of time that I've been here even. Yeah. Moving from a different state, it's a 12 and a half hour drive back to Omaha. So, just from moving down here, how fast I was able to build up clientele even here. But it's just a bigger pot to pick out. There's more people, and I've made a lot of friends down here already, and a lot of people already. It's kind of cool going to some of these car shows and these morning meets where people know who I am. Because he got you this time. All right, it's not just me. That's awesome.
Oh my God, the fly is like gonna be the end of us. No, that is super exciting, and I am so excited for you. And definitely anybody that's looking for, even considering vinyl, talking them into going this option, because you have endless possibilities this way.
I pretty much do, and I mean, I can do decal work too. You know, I mean, if somebody just has a plain white van, and they just simply want their business logos on it, I can do that. It doesn't have. I don't have to plastic up the whole thing. I can do stickers too, but I do have a small niche. Like that's all I do. I mean, there's other shops out there who do window tint and ceramic coating and all this. I don't do any of that stuff. This is literally all I do.
Well, if you're a master at it, you should just stay in one lane. That's what me. That's my thing. I stay in my lane. Like I'm not trying to cook. That's not my forte. So, well, thank you again for taking the time to sit with me and educate me on the whole process and welcome me into your great shop. And I'm so excited for what's in the future for you.
Same. Appreciate the opportunity.
Bye, guys.